afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on today's masterclass session. A big thank you to the EFeMS team for the opportunity to take this afternoon's class on building a network that powers your dreams. And I would say a big welcome to all of us here online on this platform. By way of introduction, I am Helen Gyasi. I'm a business development professional spanning over 10 years within the agri sector. I assist organizations and individuals to access markets for their agri commodities, trade, finance, investments, partnerships between Europe and also in Africa. My job has taken me quite to a number of countries. I'm a Ghanaian by birth, okay, but there's one other country that is very dear to me, and that is also Tanzania. So if there are any Swahili speakers on the platform, I say Karibu to you all, okay, and I I believe we are all watching the recorded version of this, and I would want to encourage us all to put any questions, feedback on the comment section of this platform. At the end of the presentation, I have my email address, my contact details that you can reach me on should you have any questions or you want to further discuss something from today's sessions. Okay, there are some few links and forms that I will share with you all, and I would indulge that you all participate in this test. The links that I would share, it is all to build a good network, okay? And especially with the IQ test on networking, that is almost at the end of the session. The link will be shared in the comments section below. Please answer those questions, and those who are able to, I would appreciate if the results can also be shared with me and we can go through the results, okay, that will be provided for you. It's self-explanatory, but should you need further discussion on that, I'm also available to assist in that. Okay, so let's get straight to the business of the day on discovering your why and building a network that powers your dreams. Okay, this session actually has been divided into three segments. I've categorized them, and I hope by the end of the day, after this session, we'll all be able to have achieved this as well. So a few topics that we'll be going through, it's also the unveiling the power of purposeful networking. And here I would want us to discover the impact of intentional networking on our professional life. This session, networking is a broad subject, it's a broad topic, but we'll be focusing on our professional career life. Okay, how best we can network professionally. Okay, so the first deliverable on unveiling the power of purposeful networking, we will be looking at the impact, the opportunities that can be accessed through being intentional about networking. Then we come to the second deliverable, that is to craft your strategic network blueprint. Here I would guide you all on properly to draw up a roadmap or a plan for your networking. And lastly, once you have done that, how do you now retain or maintain the networks that you have long term? You can bear with me that these the last one especially, we have different needs at different seasons and at different times. But how well, after that needs have been met through networking, how well do we still maintain these relationships long term? So I want to start by asking, what comes to mind really when you hear the word networking? Like, what comes to mind when you see or hear the word networking? Networking means different things to different people. Okay, so if you can just comment in there what networking means to you or what it connotes to you. For some, it connotes relationships, others, it's career, others it's also opportunities. Okay, so networking means different things to different people, and it's all good, it's not bad, they are all the right answers, because based on your needs, that is when you attribute certain words to a theme or a title. Okay, so it varies. Success, communities, it means common interest, as well as internet. Some might say it is also MTN and Vodafone. It's all good, but I would want us to watch this short video and really see what networking is, how we more or less describe networking, that it's our day-to-day lives. Okay, so let's just have this video played and we'll come back after that. Yeah.
What do you picture when you think about networking? Many people think of slick, self-interested people manipulating others to get things they don't deserve, or pretending to care about someone just to use them to get to someone else. But what if instead of considering networking sleazy, we reframed the way you think of it and reimagined it as something else entirely? One way to reframe networking is to picture it as asking for directions. Think back on the last time you lived or worked somewhere where you really knew your way around. Can you remember a time when a stranger came up and asked you for directions? What happened? If you were able to point them in the right direction, how did you feel? Did you feel like they were using you? No. If you're like most people, you felt good about being able to help someone out. In general, just like you're happy to give directions to a stranger, most people enjoy doing small things to help others. And asking for help finding people or information in a professional context is actually a lot like asking where you can find the nearest ATM or coffee house. Networking allows people inside a community to help people like you, who may be from outside the community, find their way, learn new things, and better participate in a domain or type of work. And the community benefits from bringing new people into the conversation too. The more introductions that are made, the more information everyone has to take advantage of. Good networking is just like asking for directions. And people are happy to help. The point isn't to do networking. The goal is to become part of the network. And someday, you'll help someone too.
Great. Nice. So at least we all know now what networking is. It's more or less we being connected, we having a connection to help, to assist, either we being the receivers or the givers of this service. And just to explain it, we all have one way or the other being connected to people, to persons. And I just want to know how many of us are on LinkedIn, the platform LinkedIn, and how many of us have kind of received any form of opportunity via LinkedIn, via our connections actually. Maybe it might be for work, career, opportunity, contracts, maybe school funding, one way or the other. And this is one of the platforms that we can actually utilize in our networking journey. And for networking, there are so many things that we need to avoid, we need to know, and also we need to avoid. But first and foremost is that we are givers. In networking, you have to be the one to give before you attempt to receive. And that's the golden rule of networking. One of the golden rules of networking is that you give before you attempt to receive. In that way, it's a give and take. We are able to interact more because you are offering some form of solution to the other party whilst bridging or creating a reference for future connections. Okay, and we more or less become proactive contributors into these person's life. You lay the groundwork for future returns on your networking. All right. And another rule is that you don't burn bridges. do not burn bridges, because you never know where you're going to need that person's support or assistance. Okay, so in a sense, this approach to networking is like a savings account that enables you to withdraw goodwill in the form of ideas, suggestions, and insights from key contacts when you need them, as and when you need them. So never ever bridge the bend the bridge, and also remember to always give before you attempt to receive from anyone. And one may ask, okay, so why networking? Because maybe it's just exchange of complimentary cards. What are the benefits to networking? What at all do we enjoy or do we get from networking? I want to share a few. There are many, but then these are a few ones that I think will help us in our professional life. It increases your visibility. The more you network, the more you yourself, you are building your brand, you are exposing or putting yourself out there for people to also notice you as well. Okay, so the more you network, the more you become visible, you become known to persons and partners or potential employers as well. You are able to build a professional support system. What do I mean by that? Through networking, you have yourself, colleagues, mentors, partners that build also feed on your support system, on your career. Okay, you might be in marketing by connecting to other marketers via platforms such as LinkedIn or events. You are able to also establish a group, a career support system. The same way you have a family support system, this is also your professional support system that helps you to also advance in your career. Okay. You also receive mentorship, guidance, support. I can be a mentor to you. You can also be a mentor to me, based on that network that you build, and also knowledge expansion. How well you broaden your knowledge on certain sectors, certain skills, expertise. Okay, network brings you this kind of, of, of benefit. Personal growth. Personally, as an individual, you can grow as an individual, but then you go far in a group. Or should you be in a circle or a system such as a network that provides guidance and direction to your professional life. It's also fine to use your social skills. I was not always like this. I'm quite shy. I'm introverted by nature. But then through networking, I've built my confidence, okay, to approach people, to be able to speak publicly, and also to fine tune harness certain potentials that I had. But through networking, I've been able to unearth that and use it on platforms such as this. So these are quite a number of few benefits that I would want to share with you all on the on networking. Sorry, you are able to also build lasting and valuable relationships. Okay, and in all this, we know that it's not just for the benefits, but also what are the pitfalls to avoid? What are the pitfalls to avoid? Meaning, we say that okay, networking is good. Maybe you just go for networking for item 13, food, free drinks, and shops. But these are some of the benefits that it offers. But then again, there are also some pitfalls that, as an individual, as a professional, you need to avoid. And this I have placed under um, a few barriers, because as much as we are benefiting from that, we also have some obstacles that you might run into. It can be personal, it can be um, psychological, it also can be expressive, expressive barriers, okay, and also behavioral barriers. And there are so many barriers, but then I've just gathered them under these themes, and where you yourself, you can also identify if this is also a barrier for you as well. And on Emotional barriers is not that you are shy, but it's just that you are unable to openly communicate your thoughts and feelings. Okay, you are maybe intimidated by people who know more than you, or you have some mistrust for certain people, suspicious about certain networks and groups. You should always in network have a proper mindset because it's very crucial to your networking. It might make or make you in this part of, of our professional life. Okay, so you really have to have the proper mindset. Why am I networking? Is it for career advancement? What is it that I need to gain, or what can I also provide for this person or this individual, this organization? Okay, through your networking. Also, there are physical barriers to it. There might be an event, a networking event, which is quite far from where you work or where you stay. It might be the distance to which for you to be able to attend these meetings, or it can also be technology that you are joining online just like this, but then due to technological barriers, um, limited network connections, you're unable to join them. Also, your physical appearance, improper attires. Certain events, networking events, requires a certain dress code, black tie or business casual. It is imperative for you to know this information and then do your part by dressing accordingly so that you don't get is it certain looks that would also cause you to go into hiding and not interact with people. Then there is also the issue of behavioral barriers, and this can manifest in various forms. Okay, in such as lack of confidence, you have a perceived inadequacy, a fear of overstepping. You might meet your role model during these events and you're unable to express yourself well, or certain behaviors. Some people also tend to stick to one group once they get a person that they are comfortable talking to. They are just stuck with the person the whole night or the whole day or throughout the events. They don't move. Also, behavioral in the sense that you also need to be culturally aware because there are certain cultures or certain people you meet that you need to know the culture, certain places or certain events. You are not to shake the main person. You are not to go near certain. There are protocols that need to be met. So you need to know all these things to be able to have an effective and effectual networking experience. Then we have the expressing yourself, which is your mannerisms. How do you express yourself in the area of your tone, the words you use? Are you approachable? Are you egoistic? Or are you suffering from some form of inferiority complex? Okay, these are all ways that can hinder your networking experience. And lastly, is your psychological, as in your nervousness, indecision. Maybe you have hatred, anger towards one person due to some political affiliations or so. All these things must be checked and identify these and avoid them as much as possible whenever you're going into a place to network. Please bear in mind these barriers as much as you are bearing in mind the benefits that it gives us. Also bear in mind the barriers to these experiences. Okay, so this is just a few things that we want us to know. We are going ahead, but I would want us to have the short pop-up quiz just to know if you're really listening. Okay, so I'll just put in the next slide, which is our pop-up quiz. I'll give you some time to answer them in the comment section, and let's see if you're keeping track. All right. Okay. Okay. So we're going to play a game on networking theme, and I just want to know if you are ready. So if you're ready, let's just get started. All right. So I'll just pause here for us to answer this. What is one way we can reimagine networking to be? If you're really listening to the video that was played, what is one way we can reimagine networking to be? Can you share your thoughts in the comment section? I give you some few seconds. So there are clues, okay, clues in there. Okay, and then the second question, sorry, the answer to the first question is that you're giving a direction to someone, right? The question number 2, yeah, the following are the words related to benefits of networking, except because network, it's people have different meanings and yeah, meanings to network, and what are they? What is it? What is one thing that is not in there? Okay, definitely relates to the benefits. The benefits. Okay, except, and the answer is disconnect. We always, networking is about connection, never to disconnect. It's always about connections and never bend the bridges. Okay, so the last question, state the golden rule of networking. What's the golden rule of networking? I mentioned it's the main golden rule. Okay, and the answer is give before you attempt to receive. Always find ways to give to solve an issue for your network. All right, thank you so much for participating, and kudos to all those that got all the answers right. Better like next time. Okay, to the rest. So we move on to the next overview, and that is on how best we can craft, or how best we can guide you to create your own roadmap, plan how to network effectively and efficiently. Okay, so I have some forms that I would want us to go through. Is to set your own blueprint, to set up your own blueprint to show you how. Just a moment, just to show you how to go about it by setting your objectives, for the network experience. Okay. All right, so here is a sample of the blueprint forms. This will be shared together with the IQ test that will be handled at the last end of the slides. So this will be shared in the description box, and I will encourage you all to please download it and work on it. So this is just a sample of how it will look like once you download the forms from the link that will be in the description box. And as always, with every blueprint, you really need to establish your goal. I would want to walk you through it with a few examples that will guide you on setting your goal. I want to emphasize here that it might look basic. It's a basic form. It's a basic template that you can use actually to guide you. It will help you to determine the goals that you need to achieve. It would also help you to learn the techniques in networking, and this is actually one of the techniques in networking. Having this blueprint, it's a guide for you to network efficiently and effectively, as well as establish an effective planning process. Okay, so this will guide you on your plan, the plan that you set out for yourself in this for this networking experience and journey. Okay, and together, sorry, it's not with everything in there, this will actually help us to establish a strategic networking plan. All right, that you can always fall on anytime you have plans or you wish to network. As and always, it starts with a goal, and I would really encourage you to watch the previous masterclass by Mami, setting up your goal for the new year. She really went in depth as to how to set up your goal. So in case you have forgotten how to set up your goal, or you have limited knowledge on that, I will encourage you to please go and watch that video. Mami explained using the SMART framework. So I wouldn't go much into details on how to set up your goal. All right, that video gives a fantastic explanation and demonstration on how to set up your goal. Okay, so for goals are mostly generic. They might be sometimes abstract in nature, but it's also for us to also think big. All right, so for goals are what we really want to achieve or want to get at the end of the day, at the end of the duration that we set. So an example in this case for our networking and professional setting might be that you want a mentor, maybe Madam Igozi of World Trade Organization, all right, to be your mentor. Or another example can be that you would want to become a communications director at the WTO. It sounds sometimes even unrealistic, but then this is where you want to end up or become sometime in the future. How do you now achieve that? All right, and for these goals, it might look like you are not even in the communications department, or you are just an intern or an entry level communication professional in that organization. But it really doesn't stop us from dreaming big and having a goal. So it's good to write that down, and please put a date to it, a start date and an end date. And this is not to instill any kind of fear or panic, but it is also to motivate us to achieve our goal. All right. Once you have established that, you put in your objectives, and objectives are more tangible. They are more, it actually shows you what you want to do to achieve that. An example can be to, in order for you to become that communications director, one of the requirements is for you to be to have a professional certificate aside your university certification. You need a professional certificate, so a professional course in communication is ideal, and it's something that you're looking forward to doing in order for you to achieve that goal. So you put that down, and for goals and objectives you can have many. It's not restricted to just one. You can have more than one. You put that also down. Once you have done that, you now come to think of what are the things, ideas that you can have for you to be able to, or activities that you can do to actually help you be established or in that line, like yeah, to plan like your process of achieving that goal. What can you do? What are the ideas? And here you can brainstorm with yourself, with other colleagues. How can you achieve that? Example of an idea can be that, oh, I would want to be part of a professional body or an association, communication professional association. You can say that you would want to be part of that. Or I would want to be able to volunteer for communication gigs. That is also an idea or a concept that you can explore. Or to put out certain articles every now and then on different platforms to actually expose or make myself more visible to these organizations, or follow the World Trade Organization pages, contribute on there, find one or two persons that I want to connect with, maybe in the line of communication or other roles, but then within that organization of the World Trade Organization. So these are things that you can put, concepts that you can put there for you. Maybe research on the various professional courses in communications that you can take based on the duration and then the course. All these are things that you can explore for you to achieve these goals. And for every goal or objective, it is never devoid of problems and challenges. So, what are kind of problems that you are currently going through that might affect or become an impediment to you achieving these goals, or something that's a challenge that you anticipate might arise in the course of this process? Put that down. Another example I can give there in relation to the example of the WTO communications director might be that the fees or the course, the tuition fees for this course, professional course certification that you want to embark on is quite high. Mhm. Another thing might be the membership cost, the membership fee to join such an association might also be costly. Then you have the example of maybe your workload, your work at the office, how to be able to balance that. You don't have the time to participate or be in attendance for this course that you want to embark on. So these are all the challenges you might face along the way. Yours might be different, so put all those ones down. This is just an example and a guidance for you. Then comes your action plan. What are really concrete steps? What are the concrete steps that you can take to be able to overcome these problems and challenges and propel you to attain that goal? And here it has to be realistic, measurable, concrete things that you as an individual have control over. All right. Example here again is that you would want to talk to HR to see the possibilities of coming to work early and closing early to enable you attend class on time. Or you can utilize the technology for you to follow the course online and have plans to attend maybe during the weekend as an in-person student. Or this membership cost that is so high, that is a challenge. Are there options, different packages for certain amounts, certain fees that you are paying? These associations always have different packages. So you can have a package that gives you, maybe you are limited by the number of mentors that you will have or the number of events that you can attend for free. So instead of the full package that is costly, you can have the next to uh, other options actually that you can utilize well. Right. So these are some of the actions plans that you can put there. Then you have your progress chart area where you put your progress that you take off as completed or not complete or still in progress, yet to be accomplished, or totally you have to cancel if through this process you change your mind. This form is so flexible, it's not restrictive, so you can add, subtract, and as you can see, the second sheet I have placed in there quarterly goals or objectives. Okay, some of your goals might take a year or more than a year, but then this allows you to break it down into smaller units so that it can be more achievable and more realistic for you to follow. All right, so you can do anything and everything with this form. It's very basic, but once you start working on it, you will know your pitfalls, you know the benefits, you get to experience the benefits as well. You might not end up as a communications director by the due date you have set, but then progress would have been made. All right. Okay. So these are some of the things, the actual blueprints that you can follow. And as I said earlier on, should you face any obstacle, you need further clarification on this blueprint, feel free to contact me and I'll be more than happy to help you. So let's go on to our next slide. Um, so so that we work on it as well. Nevertheless, you can start playing around with this as in your free time. All right, in your free time. So just a moment. Let me try and get the next slides in. Okay. All right. So here again on our last deliverable on how to really sustain or long-term connections and network. So once you have gone through identifying your network, going through the planning process to now attract them. How do you now maintain them? Okay, it can be that you have already have resolved the issue or challenge or the goal that you actually had to connect to this individual. You have achieved that. It was maybe to mentor you to gain some form of employment. You have that. But as I said earlier, remember the one of the golden rules is not to burn bridges. Okay. So now you have accomplished, you have achieved that. How then do you maintain the relationship long term? Because you might definitely need their help once again, or you would also provide them with that service or solution. So I would want us to go through a few ways to actually maintain a successful connections professionally. All right. So let's go through that, and I'll be done. First and foremost is actually to make your candidacy more visible to your network. What do I mean by that? You have to be out there, you have to put yourself out there. How do you become visible to your network? By engaging, interacting. All right. For example, on LinkedIn, I got my first speech becoming a panelist on the World Trade Organization podcast. Actually, they organize some events. They do that from time to time on their trade and food policies discussion. And I was invited. And what happened? How did I get to be part of this panelist? It was just becoming visible. I had that intention. I had that goal of being affiliated to the World Trade Organization. So I was very intentional, following their posts, commenting, resharing their posts anyway, anyhow, tagging them in certain articles or discussions that I think they will have a contribution or they can contribute. I intentionally connected to a few individuals in this organization in order to more or less put myself out, like for them to know me as I also get to know the organization. And it was true that they became more aware every time there's an article in that in relation to trade, agri, women, youth. I tag them in. I put one or two sentences in there, and LinkedIn gives you this the a breakdown of your views where each person is looking at the article from or reading the article from. They give you all these algorithms for you to be able to make informed decisions. And I made use of that. Okay, some of us, we are always so shy, just being behind the scenes, not putting ourselves out there. But a simple like on somebody's post or the connection that you really want to make. A simple like on their post, resharing, giving one or two feedback on their articles or posts it helps. It goes a long way to make you uh, to make them aware or to even notice you and your efforts. All right, and being visible can also be online and also in person. There are some few people, networks that physically I had to buy tickets, travel, or attend certain events that they are speaking at. All right. And once you get there or you get in contact with them, please be intentional with going to speak to them, shaking of hands, take pictures with them. All right. What I normally do is if I'm going to an in-person event and I have no colleague or a familiar face that is with me. What I get there early, make friends with the media team, connect with them, and I assure you they will take pictures of you. You go introduce yourself. Who are you? Part of the media team. Oh yes, from which company? Or blah blah blah. You make small talks. okay, this is my work. So please get there early so that you can have that time to have that kind of rapport with the media team because they are quite busy. Once guests starts coming in, their work starts. All right, but you can have a short, brief conversation with them, and you can just gently or kindly ask them to take pictures of you with so so and so. All right. Beforehand, before you go for such events, have the list of people, the attendance sheet. Once you ask the event planners, they are able to provide that list for you. Or when you get to the premises, you can ask for or look at the tags that are displayed on the table, or ask them, "Oh, is this person coming?" Do your research. You just don't attend for attending's sake. It's for a goal, it's for a purpose. Time is precious. All right. So once you're going to such events, make sure you have enough information. The persons coming, the guest speakers, and all the key members or people that might show up. And then you plan accordingly. You get your complimentary pass ready, or using the QR code, you kind of have that also on your phone that you can easily share with your connections. All right. And once you do that, you get there, you make memories there and then. Once you are giving your complimentary card, please add them. Don't wait till okay when I get home. It can you can misplace this in these cards. And how many of us have quite a number of complimentary cards that we are not even following up, or we've not even connected on LinkedIn or other platforms? All right. So there, what I do is as soon as I get their complimentary cards, I connect with them on LinkedIn. And what helps is that because you're doing this right there, they have seen you, you have connected with them. You quickly write a short text attached to the LinkedIn invitation. Hello, um, let me see, let me use Mr. Japan. Hello, Mr. Japan. It was nice meeting you at this event. Your your input on this so and so topic was quite insightful. I took one or two things from it, and I would appreciate time to meet with you on a personal, on a one-on-one level for a short meeting or discussion to further discuss certain points. And then you attach the picture you have taken. Some of them too definitely might not be too inclined to take a picture with you for security reasons, but a handshake or a speech with them, a talk, a conversation with them is okay. Capitalize on that brief encounter and make it worthwhile. All right. And try as much as possible to follow them on their pages, comment, like, reshare. And as I said, if it happens that you have to be at another town or another city to be able to get access to them, you do that. Sometimes you might not even meet them face to face or in person from afar. Take a picture of the program with a backdrop. Send them an invitation or a message. Nice having you speak at so and so. I was there in attendance, and I really liked your explanation, or yeah, your explanation on this, or the reasons you gave for so and so answer. Be there, be out there. Nobody will give you that spotlight. You would have to literally throw yourself in front. Okay, show yourself, show that you want this. All right, so please let's utilize all these technologies and ways to make connections. Once you've had that tool, you can also maintain these long-term relationship by sourcing for helpful information or connections for your network. All right. It's always remember that you also are the giver. It's not just networking is not just about receiving. That maybe I need a new job, a promotion, investments, partnership for my business or career. It is also what you can offer to them. And you might be surprised the fact that they are up there or they are well versed in their knowledge on certain things that doesn't mean that they also don't require help. All right. What I sometimes do is during these events, you are hopping from one person to the other, trying to establish relationships and so forth. Be that don't limit yourself to just your expertise or skill colleague or who are also in the same department or role like you. Try to diversify your connections and your network. Sometimes during these events you speak to one or two persons and what they're talking about does not align with your goal, but you can also make inferences or references to so and so person that you also spoke to who you think might be a good fit for that discussion. So it can be that I'm not in construction. My latest consultancy job that I got, I am more within the agri sector. I'm focused on that. But because of my diverse connection that spans across different industries, I was able to secure this consultancy. Although it is construction, it is also linked to agri because they are providing social housing for the agri workers in that for that commodity cereals. All right, and it was because I have that pool of diverse network connections, industries, and sectors. Do not limit yourself to just your sector, such as maybe the communications. So all your connections on LinkedIn is full of members or connections of people within that sector. Vary, vary. Have different people from different sectors that can also impact knowledge to you, and you can also make references to them and connect them to the rightful persons or organizations. And please show gratitude. A simple thank you for the invitation. Thank you for accepting my connection. Thank you for accepting my invitation. It's nice. So many times we just send in the invitation. Once they accept or you get accepted, we keep quiet, especially on LinkedIn. We so much keep quiet, no interaction, nothing. For me, I find it a bit rude. Okay, you can't just add me on LinkedIn. I'm so intentional with my connections on LinkedIn, so very much intentional about my connections on LinkedIn. So I do a lot of edits from time to time. If for the past 3 or 4 years I've not had anything with you, no connections, and we don't talk, there's no feedback, that you've not shared any article, I've not shared any article that you have also contributed to, you are out. And there's no need having over 1,000 connections and you can't utilize them, or you can't also help or support or assist in any way. I don't understand why you should have a huge number of followers or connections either on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, on all these social media platforms, and you can't utilize them. You can't access certain information or opportunities from them, or you offering opportunities to them as well. There's no need. So kind of go through that audit thing and audit your contacts, audit your connections, audit your network. All right. Show gratitude. A little thank you. You can go as far as making a nice post about them, or sometimes you don't have even any in-person connection, but this is a person that you want to have in your circle, have in your network. You can write a nice article on them based on what you have read about them. Maybe they've been able to achieve certain feats. Example like Dangote with the one of the things that I did was on the tomatoes. He kind of opened a tomato factory in northern Nigeria. Alright. I've he's one person that I would really want to meet one on one, but there has never been an opportunity for me to meet him one on one. Alright, but I had the opportunity to visit the tomato factory in Kano area to see what was going on there, and it was really marvelous. A few pictures that I took, and I wrote a nice article. Yes, that it was his entrepreneurship skill and foresight to help to curtail the importation of paste into Nigeria, which also affects the currency one way or the other, by providing employment to people in Nigeria, the Kano, northern Nigeria and its surroundings. Something short and simple. Okay, he didn't see it, but at least his managers and other people directly connected to him saw that, and they also commented, and it goes a long way. Don't know who is watching. It goes a long way, and I know for sure that all this, for me to be able to get onto the panelist list of World Trade Organization, all these little things play their role because they want to know who is in your circle, who is in your connection, mutual people that they have to you. So show gratitude. And after that thing that they did, I also thank you for your contribution to this post. And it doesn't take anything from you. All right. And lastly, follow up with emails and calls. Our chronic our chronic trait is that we send one email or one call, the person doesn't respond, and then we give up. We just give up. And then lose out on that connection. The thing is that you are not the only one trying to get to them. Likewise, you are not the only you as an individual. So many people are trying to get access to you. All right, and you tend to respond to the one that kind of puts in the extra effort to get to know you. All right. For example, before you even chose your spouse, it was his efforts or her efforts to get your attention. Maybe you had more suitors around you, but it was the one that put in the extra work to catch your attention was the one that you finally settled with. I might be wrong, but that's the general example. Likewise, you take that into the professional setting. You send one email, you don't get a response. Sorry, you don't get a response. Follow up. This is a gentle reminder. This is a kind reminder. So and so. I would want to have a brief discussion with you. And please don't go attacking them. I have sent you emails, you have not responded. That is so not professional, and that can also be a barrier for a proper networking experience. Follow up. You can follow up with a number of emails before you actually get to speak or even have a connection with the person or maintain that relationship. So follow up emails and calls. But the first two, making your candidacy more visible, sourcing for help information or connection, liking their posts, resharing, tagging them, goes a long way to still sustain for them to remember you and for you to also remember them. All right, so this is just a few things that I wanted to share with you. Uh, and also, in addition, is to more or less also show your appreciation, make the other person feel welcome. Okay, you as a in this in our account culture, management okay, the one that makes you feel special is the one that kind of draws more to you. All right. So whenever you meet people, it's not about you now. It's about the other person. How do you make the other person remember you? It's from what you say to them. It's how you make them feel. All right. And this is how you get to maintain and retain these relationships long term. All right, it's constant work, constant work. They get promoted, and nice congratulations on your new role. It's nice. They get to achieve, maybe they have completed a course, they share it. A little emoji of a clap, congratulations. It's nice. It goes a long way. It might seem so irrelevant or something basic that everybody should know and must do, but unfortunately, we tend to miss out on this. We get our connections and then we no longer have access to them because we've not gone through or we are not being intentional about keeping and working on these relationships. So that's all that I would want to say about network, and I hope we've learned one or two things on how to effectively network. All right, and I'm looking forward to all your questions from the chat, the comment section, as well as directly in my email. I have the last thing on my list is on the network IQ test to discover your networking IQ. All right, it will give you different categories where you fall and what can be worked on, your strength and then the weaknesses based on the answers that you give online. All right, so thank you so much for joining in today's session, and I look forward to all your answers and all your comments and feedback on this masterclass. All right, thank you so much. And as I promised, my contact details is in the last slide, which is helengyasi@yahoo.com. Send in all your questions, feedback, and any issues that you may encounter during the filling out of the forms or the IQ tests. And I would really appreciate if you can also share the results of your IQ test with me. We can go through it on one-on-one basis. All right. Thank you so much, and hope to see you again in another masterclass. Bye.